Welcome to O-Talkin' with Dave. Coming to you from his palatial fortress in Sin City, where what happens in Vegas is talked about everywhere. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? I hope you're great. I am above top shelf today. You know what this podcast is? This is number 200. The 200th Talking with Dave podcast. And I can't believe it. It's fantastic. I want to have 200 more and then 200 more. But it's crazy. It's been a crazy ride. A couple of years in, not quite a couple of years, but just so excited to have 53 countries and over 413 cities all over the world. Unfreaking believable. So also, it's the last podcast of January, the new year, 2026. So I just thank you. I say things out loud that they have or are helping me work through so much stuff. Yeah, and it's just through the maze of life. It helps me be more confident, more efficient. And if that helps anybody else be more productive or find something, that's why I'm here. I'm here for me. I'm here for you, whatever that helps. So thank you so much for your feedback, your direction, your patience in a lot of ways. But it's the last podcast of January. So I think after January, you don't need to be talking about the new year anymore. So I'm going to get this one in because I wanted to talk about the 5 most important things to remember in 2026. Now, when I say the 5 most important things, I got to tell you, for me, a song comes on, I'll say, man, this is top 10 all time for me. And people that know me know that I've probably said about 100 songs are in my top 10 all time. So when I say the 5 most important things to remember, I think they're important. I don't know about most, but prioritize however you will. I'm going to share these things with you today, and I'm going to take them to heart for this year, and I think it will serve me well. I hope it serves you well. Please give me feedback. So let's jump in. So number 1, freedom is not the absence of responsibility. It is the result of owning it. Understanding that it may not be my fault, but it is my responsibility. And this whole freedom thing I've been talking about so much, which has turned into a bit of a compass for me. Most people think freedom means fewer obligations, more free time. In reality, freedom comes from choosing your obligations instead of letting them choose you. Single people gain freedom by they build structure instead of just drifting around. People that drift free, yeah, you're free, but you're adrift. That's not good. There are movies made about that. So single people do that. Recently divorced people, they regain freedom in several ways. They reclaim their identity. They're not reliving the damage. They're not ruminating over what went wrong. Why did I waste all that time? Why didn't I do this sooner? No. They've regained their freedom, and if they're reliving stuff, they're giving up their freedom. It's very sophisticated. Married people, they preserve their freedom by choosing discipline over chaos. A lot of people think freedom is the opposite of discipline. No, the discipline's what gives you the freedom. And we'll dig into it again. I've hit it from several different angles. But then when you get older, I guess I'm older. My goodness, I'm older and single and recently divorced when I was married my whole life. I had all of these. But older adults experience freedom by simplifying instead of surrendering. So think about it. Think about people that are older. Their life is simpler. They don't have to do a lot of other stuff. that they had to earlier. They're wiser. They make their choices. Remember, they have fewer obligations because they choose their obligations instead of letting them choose you. When you surrender, and a lot of older people will do this sometimes. You can do it of all ages, but the reason some people are unhappy in the last chapters of their life is because they've just given up. They let other people make their decisions. They let other people tell them where to go and what to do. That's not freedom. That's not freedom. It's the opposite of freedom. Now, I'm not talking about if you get older and can take care of yourself and all of that. I'm just talking about freedom is choosing your obligations at any age. And that's important. So going back, freedom is not the absence of responsibility. It's the result of owning it. I think that is very important to remember in 2026. People who intentionally plan their week, they have 30% higher life satisfaction than those who just go with the flow. The flow feels good, but direction works better. And the work is letting you choose your obligations. Like a river. Like a river. The banks, a river with banks. What do you call that outside of the South? A river bank? You get what that is? The ocean has a shore, but a river bank moves the water. The physics. It keeps the water in. And without the banks, you have a flood. I remember so many times in the South when, you've got the banks and the banks are high enough to where the water can rise. Without those banks, everything floods. That's what freedom is like. The discipline are the banks. The discipline allows you to choose your obligations. Without that, everything floods. You have no freedom and everything is out of control. Whew, that's a big one. I jumped right in the deep water with that one. So let's go to number 2. I mentioned control. Control is limited, but it's never zero. Think about that. And what I mean by that is you don't control outcomes. So many people spend their time obsessing, control freakishly, trying to control the outcome. No. You know what you control? The input. And that's enough. You can control your input. You can't control the outcome. So think about it. You control what you tolerate. You can control what you repeat. You control what you avoid. You control what you protect. So see, control is not dominance. It's really just being a good steward of your decisions and what you allow to happen. That's control, not trying to control the outcome, which you have no control over because there are other variables. So you control your input. I'll talk to recently divorced people. They lose control emotionally. And you can win it back behaviorally, but you can lose control of your emotions. Parents feel outnumbered, but still they set the tone. You can have 10 kids, but you set the tone for what is allowed and what is not allowed based on your input and your behavior. And my mom had 3 kids. From time to time, she would lose it. That meant she was out of control, and that affected us. But when we saw her calm and cool under pressure, okay, that's a good mother. That's also leadership. It's good management. It's all of the above. Take that straight to corporate America. What managers have you had that managed by intimidation and being loud or being vulgar or being, I don't know, emotional is what it is. Okay, they're not consistent. But how about those who are calm under pressure, who've been there before, who've taken care of it? So losing control emotionally, okay, that happens. And I think we've all been there from time to time. Even if you do that, you can win it back by being in control of your behavior. That shows. Everybody can relate to both, but let your behavior show that you are in control. I know older adults, they don't control time, but they control the meaning. They control what's important. They have wise words, and it's great that we listen to them. And see, that goes back to the things we can control. All that list I said earlier. People who focus on controllables, they experience significantly lower anxiety and higher resilience under stress. It's documented in many studies. I've seen so many studies, and all the numbers are pretty close. Going back to the water, I had a good friend. I've heard this before, but my friend Larry, he took me out sailing several times. The thing is, you don't control the waves. You don't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And that's what happens. So that's why an outcome, you don't control that. You control what you input. And to go back to that, those things are what you tolerate, what you repeat, what you avoid, what you protect, whether it's people, it's environment, it's your circle of friends, it's all these things. It's what you say no to, that hits all of that list, but that is important. So please understand, to go back to the second thing, control is limited, but it's never zero. Meaning some things are out of your control, and you focus on outcomes, you're going to be disappointed because you can't control them. Control your inputs. All right, we good? Let's go to number 3. You know what's next if you've been following me at all. You've got freedom, you got control. It's time for some resolve. So number 3 is resolve beats motivation every time. Okay. All right. Hey, people call me a motivational speaker. Please, I don't motivate anybody. You motivate yourself. Motivation, though, is a feeling. It's a feeling. You get it going. You're pumped up. It's fantastic. But resolve is that decision that shows up even when that feeling doesn't. It's easy to do things when you are motivated. Resolve is what happens when that motivation doesn't show up. Resolve is getting up when nobody's watching. Getting up and doing whatever you need to do. I don't feel like it. Nobody knows it, and nobody will know if I don't. Doing it anyway. Resolve drives that. Resolve is having the conversation you've been avoiding. That hard conversation with the friend, with family, with a coworker. Maybe it's telling them something they need to know that they're doing that's harmful or that is hurting your relationship. Or maybe it's confessing something you've been holding back. Whatever you've been avoiding, you need to do it. Resolve makes that happen. And a lot of it is, resolve is ending something, ending a pattern that you just keep excusing. Maybe it's your own, maybe it's someone else's. You don't feel like doing it. Who feels like having that conversation? Nobody. So motivation, when that's gone, resolve kicks in and makes you do the thing that you know you need to do. And maybe, I've heard it often, the tough thing and the right thing are usually the same thing. Resolve, it's so important. It's the most important. And I'll just talk about single people. They need resolve to build before sharing a life. You need to build that resolve because you're going to need it. Divorced people need resolve to heal without hardening. Hardening is something you blame somebody else on, or that you hold on to regret or resentment or, vengeance, all of those things. No, that's not resolve. That's easy way out. It's easy to be that. The blame game. They hurt me. They did this. They did that. Please. That's not resolve. That's the easy way out. That's hardening. And married people, you gotta have resolve to stay present when it's easier to escape. I see it all the time. I speak for a living, but also I like to play music. And I see a lot out there, trust me. I see a lot of people who are taking the easy way out. I see people taking a stand. I can see, you let me watch somebody out in the crowd and how they interact with others. I can put them in their personality types and the hierarchy. It's pretty easy, honestly. But you've got to have resolve to stay present. And I'll take the easy way out. It's easy to run. It's harder later, but it's easy to run. Yeah, they didn't have the resolve to make it through. Older people, they need resolve to stay engaged instead of shrinking into whatever the role of an older person is. I've seen this so many times with my own parents, but especially when people get older, they put themselves into a box a lot of times. And then, do you know that 75 or 85-year-old man or woman who has pretty much health problems aside, don't hit me with that. I've dealt with it, so don't judge me. But what about that 75 to 85-year-old person who is basically healthy and of sound mind, but they choose to shrink back into their old role? Hey, I'm an old person. I should be able to do nothing. I should be able to sit here. I shouldn't have to make all these decisions myself. And then, do you know another one? You don't know where they are. They're not answering the phone because they're not home. They're out doing stuff. They may be working in the yard. They've got a social calendar that would make me blush because they didn't choose that role. They had to resolve to where I'm not going to let it get me. I am not going to do that. Hey, my old friends won't get out of their rocker. I'll find younger friends. That's what I'm going to be. I'm resolved to be that. I'm not going to die on the couch or in the recliner. I'm not going to die at all. But when I do, I'm going to catch up. I still like to go. I'm young though. But when I'm 75 to 85, I'm going to have that resolve because I know how important it is. And I have people in my life that are that age can run me into the ground. I love that. Hey, you got to stay engaged. Habits formed through consistency, they outperform motivation every time. Being driven like that, people who have resolve and are driven and have positive attitude toward this, they have 3 times the long-term success than those who are using excuses for slowing down, using excuses for giving up, using excuses for avoiding that conversation or that task. Yeah, resolve. It will get you through it. I've said it before. Motivation will light the fire. It's easy. Oh, it's a high. It's an emotion. It's a adrenaline. But resolve keeps that burning at 3 a.m. It keeps it going at 80. And I love that. I love that. Resolve beats motivation every time. Got to remember that this year. It's fantastic. And resolve, I'll circle it back. Resolve is more important than freedom and control. Because without resolve, you'll lose part of your control because you won't do it. And if you don't have control, your freedom will shrink. I'll say it over and over till I'm blue in the face. But they're all 3 important. So let's get outside of that a little bit and go to number 4. Number 4 is home, work, and play. My big 3, the 3-legged stool, must all be fed or one will poison the others. We talk about balance. And work-life balance, that's been bastardized to the point to where everybody thinks it's 33, 33, 33. No, it's not. Some days it's 60, 30, 10. Some days it's 50, 15, 35. Did that in my head. It's a just, but you got to feed them all. They change. Work-life balance is different for an 18-year-old than it is a 25-year-old and it is a 40-year-old and it is a 55-year-old. It's different from a single person versus a married person, plus whatever. It changes, but you've got to feed them because if you neglect one, it will poison the others. You got no home foundation? All right, work becomes that identity and play becomes an escape. You have a home. I didn't say family. I didn't say the norms. You've got to balance it. You've got to feed them all or one will poison the other with regret and resentment and all of these things. You don't have meaningful work. Home's going to absorb that resentment. It is. They're all so important. In no play, everything turns brittle and you'll end up resenting home and work because you didn't take time for me time. I've talked through these so many times and you get it. But however, I like putting it like I did earlier. One will poison the others. Now, when you're building your career, all right, maybe that is a larger portion, larger piece of the pie. When you're newly married, oh my goodness, it's hard to keep a job. And then you have kids. Okay, home is, yeah, that takes more time, but also you got to feed the family. So you got to feed work. And if you don't take any play, then you're going to resent them later. And two, I don't like work-life balance. I'd rather call it work-life maintenance. Meaning I've got the homework and play. I have to maintain these. I look at the difference in my yard now. We'll just call it my plants. So when I lived in the South, it rained a lot more. Okay, I didn't have to water as much, but I did have to weed more or they'd take over that. Whole little deal there. Okay, I'm out. When I was in Southern California, okay, it was a different climate. Needed some water, a lot of sun. You had to adjust based on that. It rained certain times of the year. You could get succulents, and they didn't need much water, so they grew more. Okay, but there's still. Now I'm in the desert. A lot of these plants, you have to water them every now and then, which is great for me. A cactus, not much. But that plant next to it, I forget what are those plants called? My sago palms. You have to water them every now and then. And then my little other flowers outside around that. I got to water them more. So you can tell I am big on gardening. My point is, it's not balance. You don't water them all the same. It's maintenance. Depending on the heat, I have to adjust my watering. If it rains for 4 days, I don't have to water. But it's maintenance. That is what your home, work, and play, if you don't maintain them, one's going to poison the other. You know, it's the three-legged stool. If one's shorter than the other, it's going to be slanted. If one's gone, it's going to fall over. Kick one out and you're going to fall, man. So it's not work-life balance, it's work-life maintenance. More coming on that very soon. Little foreshadowing. Okay, so the last one. Time will not slow down to give you clarity. Now just give me a moment, and let me say that again. Time will not slow down so you can get clarity. This is uncomfortable for a lot of people, and people disagree with me when I've said this. Clarity comes after movement happens, not before. Waiting for certainty is how decades will disappear, and they'll disappear quietly. What do they say when you're raising kids? The days are long and the years are short. Older adults know this. Hey, if you don't have old people in your life, find some and hang out with them. They're all around you. And if you do and you're not spending time with them, shame on you. Older people know that time will not slow down to give you clarity. Younger people ignore it, but everyone's going to pay for it. Most common regret at the end of life is not taking chances. It's not loving deeper. It's not doing those things sooner. So clarity happens while you're moving. Action, clarity, meaning, and it may be, oh, I can see it so clearly. I should have done that, but I did something. You learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from you, even if you do nothing and wait for clarity, you're going to learn from that mistake too. So do it. Hey, if it's 80%, you're 80% sure, go for it. It could be the right thing, but you're going to learn from that 20%. So don't sit there and wait. I could go on about this with specificity. 5 syllables. It's late in the day, but still, that's good for me. It's the doing nothing, the comfort zone. Oh, we've always been this way. Oh, I'm an O'Connor's do this. Nah. Heck no, man. And I'm proud that one thing I am proud of, let's say it that way. I didn't wait. My goodness, nobody moves from my hometown. I moved every 5 years. I've lived 10 years in San Diego. I've been here 2.5. I don't ever want to leave, but if I think it might be necessary, I'm not going to wait. And this is not ready, shoot, aim either. It's not just crazy, but don't wait to be 100% sure. Clarity comes from movement, not before it. All right. So those are the 5 things. Let's go back and hit them again, just for emphasis. First one, freedom is not the absence of responsibility. It's the result of owning it. Number 2, control is limited, but it's never zero. Okay? Number 3, resolve beats motivation every time. Toughness. Ooh. Number 4, homework and play must all be fed or maintained, or one will poison the others. And then lastly, time will not slow down to give you clarity. Time will not slow down to give you clarity. Come on, let's go. Let's move. Okay? So, time will not slow down to give you clarity. Let's move. So what does that mean? What are 5 things you can start doing today? I don't care what time of day it is. First thing, decide what you are no longer willing to tolerate. This is time well spent. What am I not going to put up with anymore? It could be people. It could be habits. It could be environments. Because I'm telling you, in all of this stuff, what you need to realize is silence is consent. What are you not going to tolerate? If you do, that means you're not just tolerating it, you're condoning it. And if you think of it that way, maybe that resolve will kick in a little bit. Okay? Decide. Take some time and decide what you're not going to tolerate anymore starting today. Okay? Number 2, schedule your week before it schedules you. If you don't tell your time where to go, you'll wonder where it went. If it's not on the calendar, it's not a priority, period. Now, I know, I can hear you right now. I don't like my life so structured that I'm following schedules and maybe things happen and blah, blah. No. Your calendar can be tentative. It can be. You can schedule time to do nothing. You can schedule time to think. You can schedule time for anything, but schedule your time. But anything that is a priority, put it on there. For example, today, I questioned a couple of things. I looked at my schedule. I think my schedule through and prioritize it. And I just do it then. Something changes, okay, I may adjust it a little bit, but I don't have to rethink it because I've already went through that. That saves me so much time. I meticulously planned this week a month ago. I don't have to plan it again. It's planned. Oh, maybe something happens and I need to adjust because I didn't know about that a month ago. Fine. But these people who just run out and willy-nilly spend time doing what feels good at the time, that's not control. That's not freedom. That's chaos. I love to be spontaneous. I love all that stuff. However, the priorities should be planned. They should be in your calendar. That's why, free time, I love it. I schedule free time. But also, I prioritize my calendar too. I need to do these things. I don't have a to-do list of 10 things. I have 10 things, but they're prioritized. So that I get to the first one, the big ones first. This is not going to be a time measure. I'm sorry. I slipped into that. My bad. I'll just leave it at that. Schedule your week before it schedules you. All right? Next thing, create one daily non-negotiable habit. I don't know what it is. It can be small. It can be boring, repeatable. I don't know. But this is how resolve is trained. And it can be tied to other things. For example, I get up and first thing I do, turn on the lava lamp. That's not required here. I turn on the lava lamp and make the coffee. Make the coffee. Usually, this is way too much information. Usually, because I'm too impatient to stand there by the coffee pot for 5 minutes, I'll go brush my teeth. I know what you're thinking. Dave, you brush your teeth and you drink coffee. Isn't that counterproductive? Hey, it's better than not brushing my teeth and drinking coffee, right? So anyway, when I'm talking about bundling things, I may have something that I bundle with, because I know I'm going to do that. What do I do when I get my coffee? Okay, for this month, I may read a book. I may just go outside and think. Some may call it meditating. I'm not that sophisticated, but I may think, I'm going to spend 15 minutes in silence and drink my coffee for the next month. That's one thing. When you're quiet, you're listening and things come to you. I've said that over and over. Maybe it's I'm going to, and I'm not talking about planning or doing work, but what's one thing you can do daily? And I have some routines, so I like to bundle those. But maybe it's I'm gonna walk to a certain place. Maybe I'm gonna walk 10,000 steps. That's big. That's big. So what do you start with? Okay, I'm gonna walk for 15 minutes every day, no matter what, rain or shine. If it rains, I'm gonna go some indoor place and walk. Whatever. But it's got to be non-negotiable. Why? Why is that a big thing? Because this is how resolve is trained. And then you can start applying it to bigger things, like triggers. When I hear something that's not true about somebody I care about, I'm going to correct the record. You can rehearse how you're going to do it. When I see someone bullying somebody, I'm going to step in. See, those are triggers, and that's resolve based on your principles. It can start with that one small, boring, mundane, but repeatable task that's non-negotiable. It's easy. It's easy. It starts easy. The resolve will make you attack the harder ones. Okay, too much time on that. Maybe not. Number 4, have one honest conversation that you've been avoiding. Ouch. And you know the one I'm talking about. Oh, David, I don't really have that. You already thought of it. If you didn't think about the conversation, you thought about the person, or you thought about the situation, or you thought about something that's coming up. Truth costs less than avoidance. Truth costs less than avoidance every time. You get through it. Most of the time, these tough conversations that you've been avoiding will be a breakthrough. It won't be as bad as you thought. It needed to be discussed. It will bring you closer or create the divide that needed to happen. Truth costs less than avoidance every time. So have that conversation you've been avoiding. And then lastly, protect 1 hour a week for play without guilt. We avoid play first most of the time. If we put play first, our me time first, then you're going to get a lot of that later on. 1 hour a week. 1 hour a week. Take the time out. Plan it. Make it a priority. Remember earlier, schedule your week before it schedules you. Joy isn't earned after you're burned out. Who's been burned out? Everybody raise your hand different times. Joy isn't earned after you burn out, but it can prevent it. What's the play thing you like to do? Maybe it's hit a golf ball. Maybe it's shoot basketball. Maybe it's go for a run. If you're a runner, you're going to do more than an hour a week. However, you start. Maybe it's, I don't know. I saw a thing the other day online. The old paint by numbers. Remember that as a kid? They've got them for adults. I didn't know. I know I'm probably behind the curve, but they have some cool stuff. I ordered one. When in the world am I going to get to it? I won't unless I plan 1 hour a week for play without guilt. Prevents burnout. These are important. I'm going to say them again. I know I'm redundant. I also say them over and over. Let's go to them. 5 things. Decide what you are no longer willing to tolerate. You can do that today. Schedule your week before it schedules you. You can do that today. If you can't schedule the whole week today, start with tomorrow. How about that? Create one daily non-negotiable habit. One, small, boring, repetitive, whatever. Have one honest conversation you've been avoiding. That's probably going to be the toughest one because you've been avoiding it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Scab and all. You can't get through it till you get in it. And then protect 1 hour without guilt to play. Just you, man. Dude, lady. All right? So all this is important because what if you don't? What if you do nothing and just continue the way you are? You're David, I don't have it that bad. Okay, I get it. But if you're just existing and letting life take its course, you're not free. You've got no control, and you don't need resolve. Just, hey, you're a punching bag. Or you may be riding the waves. What happens when there are no waves then? It's something to consider. So doing nothing, your freedom quietly goes away. You won't lose it all at once. You'll just trade it away for comfort. Comfort. Ugh, that's not good. Your control will be handed to louder people and louder problems. If you don't choose, someone else will choose for you. It's just the way things are. Or your resolve, get this. I remember I showed my frozen shoulder. I remember a lot of people they stay still too long or don't use something. If you don't use it, you lose it. Your resolve will atrophy. And rebuilding it later will be just harder, but almost impossible for some people in regards to starting it now. Build that resolve. That's what that one daily habit is. Resentment will replace gratitude. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about corrupt, corrosive, rotting of the human spirit? That's what resentment is. I know people who have resentment in they're pathetic. They're not my life anymore. I can't be around it. And see, that will happen. That resentment will replace gratitude at home, work, play, and all your relationships. No one wants to be around that. And these are people who say, I don't hold grudges, and then tell you 5 stories about people who did them wrong. Please. And then one day you'll realize you survived your life instead of living it. You survived it. That's a heavy thing to carry, man. I don't know. Someone wrote a book called Thriving. Are you just living or are you alive? Yeah. So those are a few things. And it's the last when I'm recording this, it's the last podcast of January 2026. And this is the moment. It's not dramatic. It's just ones you make quietly for yourself. But make them the type that you'll build resolve around, that will give you more freedom and more control and boost your resolve and more freedom and more control. And these are good things. If you're just joining and never heard this concept before, you think, oh, he's a control freak. Oh, he wants to be free. You know what this is. 2026 doesn't need a new you. You're fine. It just needs more commitment from you in some areas. No matter how great you are, it can get better. I remember I started 2025 with a similar attitude. Did it get better? By the end of 2025, I was a lot better because of the resolve. Yeah. So, you got to choose freedom by owning your responsibilities, control by mastering your inputs, not the outcome, and then resolve by acting without the need for applause, without the need for the pat on the back. You'll get it, but you don't need it. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect conditions. You don't need clarity before you move. You'll get it after you do. You need movement. Let's go. Let's go. So I talk about urgency a lot. There is urgency here because time is honest. Time does not negotiate. 6 months from now, you'll either thank yourself or have to give yourself an explanation. What's I waiting on? What's the deal, man? If I'd have started then, look where I'd be now. Yeah, that's a tough thing to tell anybody, especially yourself. And then a year from now, your life, it's going to reflect the decisions you make. Life is going to reflect the decisions, not your intentions. Yeah, I meant to do that. Yeah, okay. Why didn't you? You didn't have the resolve. I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the guts. It's not your intentions. It's the decisions you make. And then look 10 years down the road. In 10 years, I'll be 70 years old. I'm going to be running around like a crazy man. At 70, not at 60. But at 10 years from now, you're going to remember whether you stood up when it mattered or make excuses. It's easier here. No one expects me to do this. Don't wait for a sign. Be the sign. Be the signal. Show somebody else that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to put it in their face. Be the signal. But the main thing is start now. Start something. All those things I said earlier, you can do those today. It's almost bedtime, maybe. You can do them. You may have just gotten up and heard this first thing in the morning. People in Singapore right now are scheduling their time so it doesn't schedule them. I have no idea. But it's important. And I hope this message is taken in the spirit in which it's given, meaning, the opportunity. Let's move. Let's go. Let's do something. We make a mistake. Okay, we learn from it, which gave us more clarity. So I appreciate you so much. I started a 200th episode with some stats. Stats mean nothing to me. It makes me feel like, okay, maybe I'm hitting a note. So maybe I'm resonating somewhere. Okay. I'm telling you where I'm resonating. Right here and right here. Because we've been together through some stuff. I have more resolve than I've ever had. I have more freedom than I've ever had. And the control is fantastic because I can choose. I can choose my options because I can control the noise. Ooh, I'm not dancing. I'm just pushing it away. So thanks so much. Hit me up. Tell me what you think about this. David@otalks.com or Dave@otalks.com. Go on otalks.com, see what we got going. I'm about to update the calendar. The Pacific Northwest is calling me. Thanks to you guys in Portland, Seattle, and Boise. I'm coming your way. Check out the calendar, see when you can come out and see me. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on. But most of all, thanks for talking with Dave. Giddy up.